Good day everyone and welcome to Motor Town Behind the Wheel. So this is a fun little driving game that's all about transporting goods and people and stuff, and just really having fun driving in vehicles in, well, a video game. So we're going to start off here on character creation and stuff. It's not really character creation, it's more so selecting from a number of presets here that are available. And there is actually a surprisingly large number of presets here available from different backgrounds, you can tell. I mean, some of these are a little bit more odd and stuff. But yeah, ultimately, at the end of the day, I believe everyone who plays this game is ultimately going to be wanting to be Santa. Everyone wants to be Santa. Let's face it. He's a jolly soul, that one. But for this video, we're just going to stick with our first option here, number one, just because it's number one. And we're number one. Okay, so once you've finished creating your character and stuff, you're going to have level 1 and all these different things here at the top, and you're going to have no money. We're going to fix all of this here. So basically, this is how much money we have. This represents our driving experience. So to drive certain vehicles, you need to have a certain level of driving experience. Likewise, well, that's specifically, yeah, also to own certain vehicles. You can buy vehicles in the game, I should add that, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves on that. There's also different skill sets regarding different jobs and stuff, and that also can affect, you know, what you need to drive certain vehicles. So for example, this is the taxi one. We're only level 1 in taxi, so there are some taxis we won't be able to drive because we don't have the driving level and we don't have the taxi experience to do it. This here is the bus. This here is the truck. This is the racer. This is the wrecker for towing vehicles. So a tow truck, basically, for those who prefer that terminology. And there's you can even be a police officer in this game. So yeah, police are a thing. In that regard, yeah, you want to avoid getting speeding tickets. However, you wish to avoid getting said speeding ticket. The obvious answer is to avoid not speed, but I think you'll find there are other options in this game. With that all explained, let's get straight into the different modes here. There's drive mode, there's time attack, race, and you can join a multiplayer session. In this case, we're just going to be playing the base game here of driving. Let's go ahead and get in there. I'm just going to keep everything on the default settings for this, minus the fact that I'm just going to keep this as a non-multiplayer session and stuff. Alright, so the only thing I will comment on is that you may want to increase vehicle density. You may want to lower the rain. I'm going to leave it on default so you can see what it's like and make that determination for yourself if you decide to pick up this game and play it yourself. So let's go ahead and jump into the game itself. Alright, here we are. So basically there are a series of quests you will be given in the game. This is really mostly just teaching you how to play the game, and it's a it's a tutorial. But yeah, I'd say it's worth doing. It will help, you know, get you going here. I've done a lot of it so far. Maybe not all of it, maybe not even most of it, but I've certainly done quite a bit of the quests with a previous, you know, a different character and stuff. So basically our first one is getting into our Tuscan. Basically, this is our vehicle right in front of us. So let's go ahead and hit, that's right, it's okay. I mean, it shows the X there because I was in that. Alright, so we're gonna get in. Boom. Quest complete. We got our next one here. Naturally, the first thing you want to do whenever you get a vehicle is you want to pick up a hitchhiker. You know, that was the first thing I did when I got my driver's license. I immediately went out there looking for a hitchhiker to pick up, you know, and stuff. I totally recommend you do that in real life. No, don't do it in real life. But in the game, yes, that is a thing. So you can pick up hitchhikers and stuff and take them places. I really don't recommend doing it, and sometimes it can feel a little awkward depending on what character model you have here. So yeah, we're gonna pick up a hitchhiker. Yep. This person wants basically just to go to downtown, so yeah, we're gonna hit OK there.
Thank you.
Alright, so now we gotta deliver the hitchhiker to their destination. We have a little GPS monitor in the its bottom there, but let's face it, it's gonna be a lot quicker to just go this route. Oh yes, listen to that engine purr. So there are speed limits that are a thing in the game. As I said earlier there, police will pull you over if you're speeding. But depending on what the police, you know, density is set to, you may not see them too often. So it's very easy to, if you leave it on the default settings, to get away with such activities. In this case, the speed limit on this road, I believe, is 30. Yep, there it is in the upper left corner there. And sometimes if you're speeding too much, it will flash, what the speed limit is on the speedometer there. Quickly going over some of the stuff. We have a fuel gauge, we have an engine temperature down there, and we see what our fuel consumption is. Additionally, we have our odometer and, of course, our speedometer. All that in the bottom right there. Alright, so our hitchhiker wants to be dropped off right here, so we're just gonna go right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As you can see, we got $0, but we got some goodwill, which doesn't really count for anything in this. But hey, we get to pat ourselves on the back. Alright, so our next job is to switch to the different driving modes. It doesn't allow me to scroll here to tell you what all of it is, but basically there's comfort mode, which is what you normally are in here. There's sport mode. So if you're familiar with vehicles in real life, you know what sport mode does. Basically, it's going to lead to, it's the automatic uses higher RPMs when shifting and stuff there to different gears and stuff. You're also going to be, you might lose traction a bit more in sport mode due to the higher RPMs and stuff. So yeah, usually you're going to leave it in comfort unless you like doing stuff. There's also drifting mode, which, as the name implies, is for drifting. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to hold left button on the controller here, and we're going to hit B. Now in drift mode. And yeah, now they want us to pick up a pickup truck. So we're going to go and find a pickup truck. Let me switch back to comfort mode here. Alright, so let's, we got to go 400 meters to pick up our pickup truck. Alright, so we've arrived at our destination here. I'm just going to pull into this parking spot here. You don't really have to, don't worry about, like pulling in parking spots or anything with that. Because you can actually summon your vehicles to these parking spots. Likewise, don't worry about, these vehicles here. We don't own this vehicle. This is a free rental vehicle. Alright, so as it says here, yeah, so our next quest is to go to the warehouse there and pick up some cargo that we're then going to deliver. But first, we've got to discuss a free rental vehicle. It's a vehicle that you don't have to pay anything to drive, but you do have to pay a profit share on any jobs you complete with it. So if we hit left button and A, and we go on over to information here, basically this will tell you about the vehicle. It's a dory. It's got a V8 140 horsepower engine in it, 4-speed sports, and 21% owner's profit share. Alright, so owner gets 21% of any money we make doing jobs in this vehicle, which honestly isn't that bad if we're being, if we're being honest here. That's not necessarily too bad, especially when you see what some of the rental rates are. So let's go on over here to the warehouse. You don't actually have to back up to the loading bay here or anything. You just gotta get within these boxes here. We're gonna hit up arrow here. And yeah, there's a couple different jobs here that we can take. What you'll notice though is with these delivery jobs, some of these will take us a little ways out of the area here. Honestly, I mean, this one's going to take us all the way over here. And as you can see, the map is actually fairly large. This here is mostly unpopulated area, so you're going to get your longer drives there. But a lot of the city stuff is on this little island here. So yeah, that one pays 1,000 per thing there, but I think we're gonna, let's take this job right here, because this is gonna pay us 3,582, and it's not a terribly long drive. We only have to load the one thing in there. You can actually get out of the vehicle once you've loaded stuff here, and you can actually, if we hit Y here, we can get our straps out here, and we can strap down our cargo there. We'll hit Y again to get out of it, and we'll get back in our vehicle. So now our cargo isn't gonna shift around as we're driving, which is nice. Alright, so now we are going to go on our little road trip here, and we're going to try and deliver this cargo. Okay, so we have left the city here, and I'm going to put my turn signal on because we're now getting on to kind of a highway here of sorts. Nice little slide there in the turn. But yeah, the speed limit here is 110, so we can really kind of put this truck through its paces here. And these little trucks are actually really nice. Even in comfort mode, it's got some nice acceleration to it. In fact, let's switch over to sport here for a moment here, just to have some fun with sport mode. So we do have to be careful because we will have to be more wary of our traction here and stuff. It's very easy to spin these vehicles out. But yeah, we're up to 108. Come on, you can do more. Come on, truck. You got this. As you can see, we have maxed out at our 4 speed there, but I know this thing can. There we go. Yep. Now we're getting up there. Ooh, somebody had a wreck. Might have to clean that up with a tow truck later. Uh-oh, is that a cop? That might be a cop. No, that's a hippie van. Easily confusable between the two. They look the exact same. But yeah, really the scenery is actually kind of nice in this game. I love how you can be driving somewhere and all of a sudden the scenery has, just transitioned to something else here. It does help keep it from becoming too monotonous. It's very easy in a game like this to just have it where all the scenery is the exact same, regardless of where you are and stuff. Here they actually transition quite a bit with it. Alright, we gotta actually start slowing down here because we got a turn up ahead here. So we're getting off of highway here. Going to ignore the stop sign. And this one is also going to be 70, so we're going to get up to 70 here. And look, let's not do any drifting with cargo in the back here. Let's keep it in comfort for this. But yeah, you want to watch your speed with these turns because, as I said, these vehicles are very slick, and when it rains, it does have some reduced traction there that you gotta be careful of, I found. So, yeah, some of these turns, I sometimes wonder about, if the speed limit's even appropriate. This isn't one of those turns, by the way, but there's some other bits that it's like the speed limit's 90, yet 90 kilometers on some of these turns, you find yourself going, no way. Alright, so with the sun going down, we actually... Ooh, boy, see? Lost control there. I too much steering. We want to turn on our headlights, so if you hit the left thumbstick there, you can turn on your lights. There's 2 modes. We're in brights now. So let's go back to regular here. This is, I think, where we're making our delivery. Where exactly is the delivery point? I wonder. Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, we just gotta go up there and kind of touch inside the box there. There we go. Alright, so we actually are level 2, almost level 3 there with the truck driving now. And yeah, we got 2,827 out of that, which is great. So our next objective is to reach driver level 2. Okay, so we have reached driving level 2. So our next objective is to actually get a taxi. And then using that taxi, we're going to have to pick up someone and take them to where they want to go. Okay, so we've got a taxi right here we're going to get into. And this taxi is going to then allow us to accept a job here. In this case, so let me explain what you're looking at here with the taxi stuff here. So you see distance equals 60 meters. That means we're 60 meters away from where the person who we're picking up, or persons we're picking up is. The pay is 2,571, but we're going to be driving a total distance of 3.6 kilometers. There are certain requirements, though, with this job. Specifically, this job has comfort and urgency. We'll talk about that in a moment. Basically, another type of requirement you might have is that it has to be a limo, or that, well, we gotta be able to deliver 3 people. There's also some other things that can come into play. Specifically, some jobs actually require you to have an off-road vehicle. Alright? Well, it's not so much required, but it's highly recommended that you have an off-road vehicle. So let's talk about the other ones here. So comfort. Basically, comfort means, you know what, actually, we'll accept a comfort job. We'll accept a comfort job. That way, we can really see what one looks like. We'll accept this one. But urgent basically means that there's a bonus for getting them there as quickly as you can and stuff. Personally, I'm not a big fan of urgent ones, especially when they're combined with comfort. So this job is like a nightmare one here. So basically there's a time element with an urgent there. We'll take this job right here. It's a comfort, so we're going to have to go over there, pick the person up, and then we're going to have to drive them all the way, alright, to the furniture store. Alright, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, so we've arrived to pick up the customer here. We're going to hit accept passenger. Alright, so this taxi passenger wants to go somewhere, apparently. Specifically, we're going to be taking them 6.7 kilometers, and they're going to pay us 4,614, but they want comfort. So this is where this comfort comes in.
Very much.
There is a circle down here. This circle has a little circle in it. Basically, we got to be careful about keeping that little circle within the big circle as far as motion. We don't want it going out there, and we don't want it moving around too quickly either. So we got to be very careful in our driving here because they want a comfortable ride. Specifically, we're going to say that this person in the back seat there, they have a coffee with them. They're enjoying their coffee. So they want us to drive carefully there with their coffee. So yeah, the secret to this one is just, you know, smooth acceleration and braking and stuff. You know, no sudden things with that. Keep your turns nice and wide. You know, just keep it a nice, gentle thing here. Basically, drive like you should in real life, not the crazy driving that I sometimes do in games. Yeah, I'm being a little bit overcautious there. But yeah, basically, if you look in the top right there, you'll see a thing where it says comfort, and there's two bars next to it. Basically, we want to keep those two bars there. If we are a little rough with our driving, we make too sharp of a turn, or, you know, we brake suddenly or something like that, we're going to lose one of those comfort bars. So basically, we got to keep an eye on our little dot there and stuff. Comfort jobs, yeah, you typically want to take them slower, so that's why it's not ideal to have an urgent and a comfort. Those two make a very bad combination together. Got a little speed bump here. This person's probably having the most comfortable taxi ride they've ever had. Okay, so far it's been a very smooth drive, but we want to start slowing down now, you know, just to make sure it stays a nice smooth drive, because we got a right turn up ahead here. Yeah, we're gonna go off-road here. I didn't slow down enough for that turn. I thought I had better brakes in this thing. I should have checked the brakes in this taxi before we got going. Turns out this taxi really doesn't have that great of brakes. So yeah, I got so used to some of the other vehicles I was driving where, yeah, braking power is a lot better. Oh, good grief. Yeah, this first taxi, its handling is very kind of jerky. Its brakes aren't that great. Yeah, so you just want to be very careful. Comfort jobs are some of the, you know, most irritating because, you know, you really do have to be careful. Likewise, you got to drive, you know, that means driving slow. And then you still run into the issue where, so the NPCs, they aren't necessarily going the speed limit. It's like, do I pass or do I, you know, continue slow like they're doing? And so, yeah, if you decide to pass, well, you got to be careful about, you know, passing nice and smoothly and stuff. You know, it can be a bit of a challenge. I mean, this might be a prime example up ahead here. I mean, the speed limit's 90 and we're going 70 and we're catching that red car up ahead. Which is a sports car, if I'm not mistaken. Now this is going to be kind of fun here with this because I'm kind of glad we weren't going any faster since, you know, We're gonna have to be careful of some of these curves here and stuff. Again, this guy's got hot coffee. Let's not spill his coffee. He won't be happy about that. I mean, it really doesn't take much for that little bubble kind of to start floating around towards the edge there where we don't want it. Okay, we're braking, we're braking. Okay, I guess this police officer's just gonna let us make our turn here. How nice of him. Alright. We're 800 meters away from being done with this. Come on now. Oh. Let's not mess it up. Okay, I've actually reached level 3 here for my driving, so that's helpful. Glad to hear this wasn't, glad to hear we got something else out of it here. I'm starting to regret taking this lengthy comfort drive here. Oh boy. Yeah, taxi service isn't my favorite in the game. Okay, brake, 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 brake. Okay, we're gonna have to reverse. We're gonna have to reverse. All right, back her up, back her up, back her up, back her up. Okay, brake, brake, brake. A little more, a little more.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there he is. So, yeah, we got, because we satisfied the comfort there, we got an extra 1,845. Oh boy, that's a number. I think it's time for me to call it there. So, total payment we received was 5,000. So, making money in this game is not necessarily, a great challenge. But you do there's different ways of doing it. So in the next one, we're going to take a look at we're going to take a look in the next one about driving like a minibus, I think.